I tell stories of the weird, strange, and true stories in a story format. I will try to post once per week as time allows. Please subscribe to my channel and click the like button on the video. Thank you for watching.
This incident is really two stories in one. It involves a Shawnee, Ohio couple named Bruce and Jan, and over 30 kids from the Shawnee High School band camp. It had been a hot day in Shawnee, Ohio, in late August of 2010. The temperature on Sunday, August 29th was a balmy 92 degrees and sunny. You could hear in the distance the Shawnee High School band camp, practicing on the high school football field. While the kids were practicing on the field, Jan and Bruce were relaxing in their home, about a mile from the school. They were excited that later some family friends were coming over for dinner that evening. Jan, who is an avid hunter, had decided she was going to do a little hunting on their property before the guests would arrive. Bruce and Jan own a section of land that they call the 15-acre woods, next to their home. Bruce, who is a well-known physicist, was busy in his home office. Jan popped in and told Bruce she was going to do some bow hunting from the tree stand before the family friends came. Jan gathered up her gear and headed to the deer stand that was about 100 yards from the house. She could hear the band playing in the background as she approached the deer stand, around 4:30 p.m. She slowly climbed the ladder up to the stand, which was roughly 14 feet off the ground. As she settled in the stand, she could hear the natural sounds from the woods. Leaves rustling on the trees, birds singing all around her, crickets chirping. She got out her BlackBerry cell phone and was taking some selfies while up in the tree. At the high school band camp, over 30 kids were practicing and marching on the football field. At around 6:20 p.m., Matthew, who happens to be Jan's nephew, was marching along when all of a sudden, a bright light appeared out of nowhere, just above the tree line near the football field. Soon, all the kids had stopped dead in their tracks and were looking up at the ball of light, hovering above the tree line. Matthew was thinking to himself, that this object shouldn't be there. If it was a man-made thing, it was just too low to be there. The object had no sound. The color was candle orange and was waxing and waning, as he described it to a reporter. It had no definable edges to it, and no dimension. The band director, who never stops for anything, had stopped and looked at it. He said, "What the hell was that?" And before he had time to even think about what he was seeing, it was gone. It just zapped out. Meanwhile, Jan, who loves to hunt for deer and other animals, was in the tree stand, when all of a sudden, the sounds of the woods went dead silent. There was no longer any sound from the birds, crickets, or anything. At the same time, she thought she had a mote in her eye. She took her finger and rubbed her eyes, kind of like when you get that fogginess over your eye. She looks over at a section of trees and was thinking, what the hell is that thing in the trees? She described it as if it looked like a large piece of saran wrap in the trees. She stated that was the only way she could describe it. She said it resembled the predator in the movie. But whatever this thing was, it was very wide. She was up in the tree stand 14 feet above ground, and it hung quite a way down, and she was thinking, what is this thing? It didn't really scare her at that time, until it moved and formed an arm that reached over to another tree. It reached over about 12 to 14 feet. And then like a blob sucked itself over to the other tree. It just went to a whole other tree. I had this strong feeling, like something isn't right. She said she would have normally at that time would have probably got down and stopped hunting, but for some reason, she didn't. A reporter had asked her, where did the blob come from? She said she had no idea. It just appeared in one tree. As it was moving through the woods. It went from tree to tree to tree, and then it just disappeared. It didn't continue on. So, where it went, she didn't know. It just vanished right before my eyes. Then just as suddenly as the sounds stopped, they started up again and she could hear the birds and crickets again. This is when she realized just how terrified she really was, during this encounter. She stayed in the stand for about a half hour till sundown and then she came down. Later, after their guest left for the night, Bruce heads back into his home office around 11:30 p.m., and noticed an email he had received earlier from his nephew Matthew, who then described the incident at the high school to Bruce in the email. Bruce said the strange part about the incident is that Jan never mentioned what she had witnessed earlier when she came back from hunting. It's as if she had forgotten about the incident in the woods. Bruce mentions to Jan about the email that he had received from Matthew, and she suddenly remembers the incident that happened in the woods. She told Bruce she was taking some selfies, and about what had happened in the woods. Bruce, being curious, asked to see her phone to download the pictures to see if anything might be on the phone. Bruce explained to the reporter about the oddities he found with the phone. The cell phone is a BlackBerry Pearl Model 8130 that was manufactured from 2007 to 2011. Bruce went on to explain. You might say she took a couple of pictures of herself before the event, which provided a fixed point of the investigation. She took a photo of herself around 4:31 p.m. So, you have the camera phone doing its normal thing before and after, but right in the middle, with this one photo, something bizarre happened. In the picture she took, the resolution somehow changed for that one picture to 528 by 400. You can manually change the cell phone to 1600 by 1200, 1024 by 768, or 640 by 480, but it got changed to 528 by 400. Numbers that don't exist in that phone. I don't know how to explain this film imagery stuff. I can't imagine what this image is. What it looks like well focused. The 3 photos she took. The first photo is 1024 by 768, the second photo is 528 by 400, and the third photo is 1024 by 768. 528 by 400 isn't in the phone's programming. It just isn't. What did over 30 kids, and the band director see that evening? What did Jan see? Are the two incidents related?
If you like this video, please click like, subscribe and turn on notifications. Thank you.